we are ready to pull back the curtain.
Pull the string, pull the string. Oh, look at those little hearts. Must have been Valentine's Day or something yesterday. Somewhere.
Hey everyone,
hey,
welcome. Welcome to Living Room Live. We're Sue and Dwight for those of you who are joining us for the first time. We're streaming live from our living room here in Toronto, Canada. And our theme this week is Love is in the Air. So after it just being Valentine's Day yesterday, we thought it would be fun to play a bunch of songs about love. So here is, oh, actually I need my guitar for this one. You need your
guitar for this one, yes indeed.
And this is a song that Dwight wrote, actually. It's kind of, it's about us.
Drawn into the Open Stage CD, it's called, yes, it's...
Time With You.
Time With You.
I'm just going to take my glasses off for this one. Just let me make sure my capo is nice and straight. You wake up, raise your head, throw back the covers on the bed, whisper goodbye in my ear. I'm still asleep, but I can hear. I don't wanna sail the ocean blue, climb the highest mountain at Kathmandu. I'm gonna hold you the whole night through. I just wanna spend all my time with you. You come home at the end of the day, sing out my name in your way. Take my hand, hold me tight. We'll be together through the night. Don't wanna sail the ocean blue, climb the highest mountain at Kathmandu. I'm gonna hold you the whole night through. Just wanna spend all, don't wanna sail the ocean blue, climb the highest mountain at Kathmandu. I'm gonna hold you the whole night through. Just wanna spend all time with you. Just wanna spend all my time with you.
have it.
note was still ringing for quite a while there. I love it when the guitars do that. When you hit the last note and then it continues to play on.
So folks, thank you for joining us here on the day after Valentine's Day. As befittingly here in Toronto, it is February 15th and the temperature hit 15 degrees, that's Celsius. So somewhere around 45 degrees
Amazing.
Fahrenheit, which is amazing for Toronto
In February.
in February.
Yeah.
So yes, we're quite happy this year. And glad to have you with us. Like
So
to spend
I'm-
some time with you.
Yeah, I'm going to take a moment now and just say hello to folks who've joined us. I'll start here over on Facebook. I see that first in was Martin and Kirsten from Bowen Island, BC. We've got Charles joining us from Bonnie, Scotland, and Linda and John from Illinois.
Hey, Linda and John.
We've got Jan tuning in from Tennessee,
Yay.
and Lauren's tuning in from Scarborough here in Toronto.
Lauren, we decided we haven't been working hard enough the last couple of weeks, so we're going to
Give you lots of fact checking.
we're gonna make some gaffes.
We've got Rika joining us from Florida/Chicago.
Ooh,
That's an interesting combination.
yes.
And Cindy is tuning in from, is it Iowa? No,
Ohio.
Ohio.
Yeah.
I get my states sometimes mixed up. And we've got Earl and Wendy tuning in from Kansas, and Judy from Prince George, Gail from here in Toronto, and Cindy confirmed it was Ohio, yes. Michelle from Toronto, and Sherry from San Pedro, California. Sunny with wind chill. Ooh.
So tell us, what's the wind chill?
What is the wind chill?
What's
Yes.
wind chill like in San Pedro?
In California. We've got Brenda tuning in from East York here in Toronto. And, Charles says, lovely haircuts, guys. Walter tuning in from London.
I think you're referring to me, right, Charles? Right off the press, 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock this afternoon, you got a haircut. Sandra tuning in from the windy city of Toronto. It sure was windy today. And Ron from Port Hope. And Hector is tuning in tonight. I'm not sure from where. Gail is tuning in from Whitney and Gail are tuning in from Burlington. And Shannon from Shannon and Tom and maybe little Abby from Brantford. And it's moving fast all of a sudden. Deborah from Mays Landing, New Jersey.
Hey, Deborah, how you doing?
And Bruce and Susie from New Jersey.
New Jersey, wow.
And
New Jersey calling, right?
Linda
Great song.
from Saskatoon. And Sybil from Delray Beach in Florida. And she says they're having huge rip tides there, so it's windy there too. All right, we are going to go over to YouTube, and I see that we have Melanie tuning in. She says soggy in Bangor, Maine tonight, so I guess you're getting all the rain tonight. I think we start getting it tonight apparently, some rain. And we've got Mickey, Mark, and Eleanor in beautiful Minnesota.
Hey, folks.
And Phyllis tuning in from here in Toronto, and our Toronto Barb is here as well. So thank you all for joining us. We're going to keep things moving along with, this is one of Dwight's favorite songs. We just kind of brought this one into our repertoire over the last year or so, I guess. And it's part of our 70s show. And
I think it has to do with love.
he made a good case for it anyway to get on the list. So
the
we'll
chorus
see what you
does.
think.
I don't know what the verse is, but it's a good song anyway, right? Well, I don't know what came here tonight. I got the feeling that something ain't right. I'm so scared in case I fall off my chair, and I'm wondering how I'll get down the stairs. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Yes, I'm stuck in the middle with you, and I'm wondering what it is I should do. It's so hard to keep the smile from my face, losing control and run all over the place. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Well, you started off with nothing and you're proud that you're a self-made man. Woo-hoo. And your friends, they all come crawling and slap you on the back and say, please, please. Trying to make some sense of it all, but I can see it makes no sense at all. Is it cool to go to sleep on the floor? I don't think that I can take any more. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Well, you started out with nothing and you're proud that you're a self-made man. Woo-hoo. And your friends, they all come calling, slap you on the back and say, please, please. Well, I don't know why I stay here tonight. I got the feeling that something ain't right. I'm so scared in case I fall off my chair, and I'm wondering how I'll get down the stairs. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Yes, I'm 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 stuck in the middle with you. So
I kind of forgot about the choreography.
Did you
there.
notice? We kind of practiced that, I think, a little bit. I think I've told this story before. I remember the song was a big hit when I was a teenager. And I happened to go on a school trip to France when I was about 15 or 16. And we were at a disco. Wow, you can imagine. And our billets were a little older than us, so they could drink as well. But here we are in this little bistro in the Beauvoir area of the Loire Valley area. So we were outside of France, at Paris, in this small town. And there was this disco with the glitter ball and all these French people who were older than us. And a whole bunch of them were dancing on the dance floor, and a bunch of guys were dancing around. This one girl pointing at the girl, going, stuck in the middle. And they were just having so much fun.
One of your favorite memories.
Oh man, yeah. And you know, what a great song. And then to have a little memory like that goes along with it, that was fantastic. And then the choreography, which I think just nailed it, right?
Oh well, of course. Hey,
what would you give us, especially the?
I didn't do a very good job on the choreography.
The Latvian judges. What would you say about our choreography?
Hey, let me just take a moment. I see a few more people came in. I see Peggy is tuning in from Iowa, and Diana from who's our Montrealer is here tonight.
Ça va bien.
And I just quickly over to. Nope, still the same on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure that that Marianne and Kathy are tuning in tonight, and I believe that Renata and Dennis are tuning in tonight as well. So welcome everyone. And Darcy and Randy, they usually tune in after because of work commitments, as does Steve. So we're so glad to have you all here. Now this next song, just speaking of memories, this song brings back lots of happy memories for us of some family members, an aunt and an uncle in particular, who Dwight wrote this song about. And they passed a few years back now, but this song always is one that kind of takes me back, and just what a sweet kind of relationship they had. It's called Till the End.
If I could just elaborate briefly, when we moved to Ontario, let me take a step backwards. We were from Winnipeg, moved to Saskatoon. From the moment I met Sue, she would always talk about her wonderful Aunt Joan, who lived in Hamilton, and her beautiful cousin Kathy. And
Mon oncle.
And Mon oncle. And so, you know, for many years, almost a decade. And then we moved to Ontario here in Toronto, which is an hour away from Hamilton or less. It's Hamilton, Ontario, Charles. And we got to see lots of Auntie Joan Mononki and beautiful cousin Kathy and Ralph.
And Ralph.
And Ralph.
Beautiful
Sorry, Ralph. And Ralph. But so yes, this was a big deal, and we had so many wonderful times up on the mountain. Prospects and back in the east, they met one day, dancing night away. Little golden beauty stole his heart. He said, I love you now, I'll love you till the end. He said, I love you now, and I'll love you till the end. Settled down, started a family. I bought a house up on the mountain, lived each day as it came. So much different, so much the same. Said I love you now, and I'll love you till the end. He said I love you now, and I'll love you till the end. Lost without her, struggled through each and every day, tried his best to get by. With his last breath you could hear him say, I love you now, and I'll love you till the end. I love you now, and I'll love you till the end.
Pretty song. The mountain is
has
Hamilton.
A mountain. It's you may have heard of the Niagara Escarpment. Runs all the way from Tobermory on Lake Huron, ends somewhere around Hamilton or maybe even Niagara Falls. So that's the mountain, and it's a big one.
So that was a very very sweet romantic song. This
Okay.
next one is
Yes.
kind of the antithesis. It's
I just realized I made a programming faux pas here, but
oh, you did?
Yeah, but
Oh.
I think some of the pickers will notice this, but don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. I know what you mean. Yes. Now this is a song that, it initially came as
A dare.
well, I was going to say a request, but
Oh.
yes, it was a dare.
And even worse, remember the story, the movie Christmas Story? A double dog dare you.
Yeah, double dog dare. No, I didn't. You know what? I didn't even
think it
think
was a double
he
did
didn't even
dare.
have to double dog or triple dog
Or
dare
was
us
it a double
because
dog dare?
because when we heard the request, we thought, oh yeah, we should do this one. Just kind of spice things up a little bit. It's a song that was written by John Prine, and he wrote it for a movie that he was doing with Billy Bob Thornton. He had been asked to write a song for the closing credits of the movie, and he asked him, well, should it be about the people in the movie? And he said, oh, whatever you want. And so he kind of loosely based it on some characters in the movie. And it took a couple of years before the movie actually was released, but it ended up being put out on John Prine's In Spite of Ourselves album. So I think I just gave away what song it is.
We're going to lose our our Disney rating on this one, maybe.
Yes.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
doesn't like her eggs all runny. She thinks crossing her legs is funny. She looks down her nose at money. She gets it on like the Easter bunny. She's my baby, I'm her honey. I'm never gonna let her go.
He ain't got laid in a month of Sundays. I caught him once and he was sniffing my undies. He ain't too sharp, but he gets things done. Drinks his beer like it's oxygen. He's my baby, I'm his honey. Never gonna let him go.
In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We're gonna spite our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. All my jokes are corny. Convict movies make her horny. She likes ketchup on her scrambled eggs. Swears like a sailor when she saves her legs. She takes a licking, keeps on ticking. I'm never gonna let her go.
He's got more balls than a big brass monkey. He's a whacked out weirdo and a love bug junkie. Sly as a fox, crazy as a loon. Payday comes and he's a howling at the moon. He's my baby, I don't mean maybe. Never gonna let him go.
In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We're gonna spike our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We're gonna spike our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. In spite of ourselves.
Well, there's a song for you.
Isn't that a tasty little tune?
With the programming thing that Dwight was mentioning, when we were learning this song, he said, "Gee, the beginning of it sounds just like Till the End," and so we thought, oh, we should make sure to space them apart in the show because the picking pattern is the same on it.
Pretty classic Piedmont guitar lick there.
Well, that was fun. Thank you for that unusual request, Earl. Hope you enjoyed that.
You all enjoyed that. That is, it's funny when the request came in, I thought, I don't think I know that song. And then when I heard it, of course I've heard that one because it's a cute little song. Tainted.
It is. It is. Well, this next song is about
back to serious
love songs. This is about actually some people that we knew and still know here in Toronto. Sid and Ida. And Sid was one of the founders of the Canadian folk group, the Travelers. And so we got to know him through a little club up the street from us called the Celebrity Club. And he was a really interesting man. And after we got to know him, he used to invite us to perform with him Canada Day celebrations where they would sing This Land, because the Travelers had done a Canadian version of the song, of the Woody Guthrie song, This Land. And it was always such a pleasure to do that. Well, anyway, we learned a little bit about his relationship, how he met his wife, Ida. And they met in Winnipeg, where Dwight and I met. And I think at the time we met them, they had been married 60 years.
It was about 60
years or so. Now, Sid passed a few years ago, but Ida still is living in the neighborhood, and periodically we see her out and about on the streets. So Dwight wrote this song about their little romance, and it's called Sweet Ida.
Into each life there comes a love that lasts both strong and true. And though it's been long 50 years, I'm still in love with you. Ida, sweet Ida, your lips as red as the apple of your name. Ida, sweet Ida, dance with me once again. I stole you from your parents' arms. They cried as you left town, and made our way from Winnipeg to start a life of our own. Ida, sweet Ida, your lips as red as the apple of your name. Ida, sweet Ida, dance with me once again. As the apple of your name, Ida, sweet Ida, dance with me once again. Ida, sweet Ida, your lips as red as the apple of your name. Ida, sweet Ida, with me once again. Dance with me once again. Dance with me once again.
Sweet Ida. She really is a lovely woman, too.
So, folks, we
This
hope you're.
romance, eh?
Yes, a lot of mushy stuff in this set for us, including John Prine song. I realize yet another oh my goodness, programming faux pas. I've sung 4 songs in a row, which means this is like the Ann Dwight show tonight, not just the. So isn't that something?
Isn't that interesting? Well, I sang on In Spite of Art. We alternated.
I guess, yeah.
Yes, so that
I'll
you
have to talk
broke
to the
the,
programming, the people, the guys up there. Lauren, do you want to talk to the guys in the programming department and see if they were sleeping while we were? They were supposed to be writing up a proper song list.
Well, the thing was, we actually tossed the songs around quite a bit. Usually, we make a song list, and it's pretty easy because the songs all kind of fit together. But today we were moving them around. It was a little bit like a puzzle.
It was like a Pac-Man.
And maybe
Miss
because they're
Pac-Man.
all love songs of different kinds, and they just have to be treated a little different. Martin says that kalimba can only mean one thing. That's Poetry Corner. Now, you know what? This week, as you can see, we are having a guest poet. Usually, for those of you who haven't tuned in before, Poetry Corner is just a little short segment in the middle of our show where usually I read a poem that I've written, but on occasion we have guest poets. And I happen to be the lucky recipient of my grandfather's diaries. And so I periodically like to check them out on certain days, special days I'll go through. There's years of them actually, and maybe close to, well, the first one I think is about 66, and then the last one is 81 or 82. So there's quite a lot of material, and he used to keep track of everything, just kind of the little day-to-day stuff, and I just love to see what he was doing on any particular day.
He would time the entry 7
Yes.
a.m.
Yeah, or
9:15.
actually he'd do it in 100 hours.
In 100
Yes,
hours.
because
The
he was
military man.
military.
Yeah.
But yesterday on Valentine's Day, I thought, I'm just going to check to see what he was doing on February 14th of 1971. And he writes here a little poem to me, actually, that he had put into a card. So I'm sure I still have the card because I did save them. But I thought it was just so cool to find it here in the diary. It's called To Susan, age 12. I didn't need a sweetheart card with verse already written to tell my little western pard she's cuter than a kitten. And if you think it's not sincere, this little verse of mine, I'm asking you right now and here to be my Valentine. And actually, in the on the page, he has a little heart. Oops, where am I in there? Has a little heart sticker on there, which I thought was pretty lovely. So he and I used to write back and forth. I lived in Winnipeg. He lived in Montreal, and for years, I mean, as long as I could write until he passed away, we used to write letters back and forth to each other and send cards and things. And so I thought that was pretty nice.
His
to
journal's
come
all
across.
typed.
It's
Pretty good
all
typist.
typed, yes,
Yeah.
and in this particular one, it's all brief. There's not he's not very long-winded, but in this one particular book, there's 3 years of his day-to-day life, and I just love to.
And their
to
house
read
was
him.
one of the Balconville flats. Diana, you'll appreciate that over there in Montreal, by Papineau Station, which is a train station, subway station there. So you can just picture them in their main floor, their flat. The kitchen's always at the back, and then there's the bathroom, and then the backyard. Him plunking away there.
On his typewriter, yeah. So thank you, and Dwight's gonna. I'm looking for the direction from Martin to play us out. Dwight, there it is. I think it is.
I think Martin wants me to do an extended live version.
There it is. Don't forget to play us out, he says.
There we have it.
That's great. Wow.
Oh,
Well,
that was
that's...
a nice little break. Like,
It was fun.
Trip down memory lane there.
It's so funny. I just love these little memories. I always kind of tell people, now like who have grandchildren and stuff, even if the kids don't realize it at the age they're at, in the future, all that kind of stuff just means so much. As you look back and you think how lucky I was to be so loved, right? I mean, that is pretty amazing. So
my grandmother, I remember when my brother and I got autograph books when we were about 10, and we asked everybody, strangers on the street, hey, come here, your autograph. So my grandmother wrote one, and it was, you are too good, two, numeral, to be, again, two, four, with the line under it, above it, gotten.
Oh,
two,
is
four.
that about you?
Granny.
Granny.
Yeah.
Oh, how nice. Oh, isn't that sweet? Well, okay, let's get back into the present. This is a song that we did in our Buffy Sainte Marie Spotlight show. And a lot of people said they really loved this song. It was originally from the movie An Officer and a Gentleman, and written by Buffy Sainte Marie. And although the version that's in the movie is kind of this really soaring, amazing Jennifer Warren and wasn't that funny? Lauren, I'm going to need your help here. Jennifer Warren and I forget who sang it with her.
Wasn't Richard Gere, right?
Well, he was in the actor,
movie,
yeah.
He's not a singer.
So, but we heard Buffy sing it in just a very stripped down version, just her singing it by herself, and we thought, oh my gosh, this song, it can be beautiful even if it's not done in this, sort of like soaring manner that had been done for the movie. So we're going to do kind of a little softer, stripped down version. Here we go. Who knows what tomorrow brings? In a world, few hearts survive. All I know is the way I feel. When it's real, I keep it alive. The road is long. There are mountains in our way, but we climb a step every day. Love lift us up where we belong, where the eagles cry on a mountain high. Love lift us up where we belong, far from the world we know, where the clear winds blow. Some hang on to used to be, live their lives looking behind. All we have is here and now, all our lives out there to find. The road is long. There are mountains in our way, but we climb a step every day. Love lift us up where we belong, where the eagles cry on a mountain high. Love lift us up where we belong, far from the world we know, where the clear winds blow. Time goes by,
no time to cry. Life's you and I alive today. Love lift us up where we belong, where the eagles cry on a mountain high. Love lift us up where we belong, far from the world we know, where the clear winds blow. Love lift us up where we belong, where the eagles cry on a mountain high. Love lift us up where we belong, far from the world we know, where the clear winds blow.
Such a pretty song. I love this song as an illustration of what an amazing songwriter Buffy Sainte Marie was, because she was well known for her social justice songs and, you know, really important message songs, and yet she could, you know, just knock off one of these fabulous love songs just like that, and
Now,
won a Grammy for it too.
Now, speaking of interesting movie songs, last night for Valentine's Day, we decided to watch one of the classics from our time, and to Sue's surprise, or unknowns to Sue, I picked
Oh, yes.
Night Shift with Henry
I told him
Winkler
to
and
surprise me.
Shelley Long and Michael Keaton's breakthrough movie. And coincidentally, the key song that they play throughout there is "That's What Friends Are For," by the recently departed Burt Bacharach. And you start realizing just how great some of these songs are in the movies, and what it takes to write a good movie song like that.
Hey, I did get an answer from Lauren.
Lauren.
It was
Way to
Joe
go, Lauren.
Cocker. Joe Cocker,
Joe
of course.
Cocker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Well, we're going to dip into the Sue and Dwight file right now, and
Oh, yes.
a song that I wrote. It's a love song, a fictional love song, and all but one that took place in a little town in northern Manitoba, or midwestern Manitoba, called Ochre River. So if you're ever driving up the Yellowhead Highway, the Westerners will all know about that, Highway 16. You will sort of get close to Riding Mountain National Park, which is a beautiful place to be. And just north of there is a little lake called Ochre Lake and a beach called Ochre River, a river called Ochre River, and a little story that just might have happened.
All right.
Oh, so he's getting serious. Taking the glasses off. Glasses are going up. Dude. When I first saw her dancing on your shore, playing with the ice while she would sing. We were young and oh so foolish. We leapt along the floes as the winter melted into spring. Ochre River, can you hear me? I've lost the one I love, and I'm quickly sliding out of reach. Ochre River. River, can you hear me? I've lost the one I love, and I'm quickly sliding out of reach. Ochre River, have you seen her? She's the one you brought my way when we found each other on your beach. Then the leaves changed, things got rearranged. Cold was in the air, ringing in a frost over her heart. Came the day she would say she had found another, and it was time for us to part. Ochre River, can you hear me? I've lost the one I love, and I'm quickly sliding out of reach. Ochre River, have you seen her? She's the one you brought my way when we found each other on your beach. Ochre River, don't take her away. Ochre River, don't take her away. Maybe that'll be in a movie one day. Wouldn't that be? Hey, that song. I watched this movie the other night.
Wouldn't it be
There was
fun
that
though to
song by
have
Sue and
a,
Dwight
have
in
a
it.
song in a movie? That would be amazing. Hey, if you're making any movies out there, let us know. We'll even write one for you.
It'll be all about the Midwest. How's that?
Hey, I'm just gonna. I see that that Gwen has joined us from here in Toronto as well. Oh, it's nice to see you.
Hey, so folks, who's got the coldest night out there today? Like we're in balmy Toronto right now. I think.
Hey, and Julie is joining us as well from Oakville, I believe it is. Sorry, I was just checking to see what I know. I'm sorry about that.
So yeah, like it's like 50 and above here, and like what's happening in the usual cold spots?
I've lost track because
Linda
it's-
out in Saskatchewan, what's happening? Mark, Mickey, Eleanor, what's happening in Minnesota? You guys always have a good.
I was
good
chatting
cold.
with Dwight's dad yesterday, and
Cold
he's in Winnipeg, and usually in February it's pretty
really
cold there. And he was telling me how he was out on his balcony in his apartment, and he was smelling something good and saw that his neighbors were barbecuing. So I mean that's pretty unheard of
That's
for this
awfully
time of year,
Yeah.
for sure. Hey, this next song is another cover. We're gonna slip in another one tonight. It's a song called "The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face," and it's a song that's been actually done by
Peter Palmer.
Peter, Paul, and Mary,
Roberta
by
Flack.
Roberta Flack, lots of different artists, but it was written by Ewan McGregor for Peggy
Ewan McCall,
Ewan McCall, sorry. Ewan McCall for Peggy Seeger.
who was Pete Seeger's half sister.
Yes, and it's probably one of the most romantic songs you could write, and it's interesting. There's kind of an interesting story behind it in that they never liked any of the other versions that were put out. They only liked the original version that she sang, actually, a version of it. So. But I thought that was kind of interesting because there are so many beautiful versions of this song. And
Well,
Peter, Paul, and Mary do actually a lovely one
I'm
with
trying to
their
think
harmonies.
of we learned the Peter, Paul, and Mary version, grew up on the Roberta Flack version, and I'm just trying to. I know I've heard the Peggy Seeger one, but I just can't
I think they're
think
all.
of how. I thought it was they were all kind of similar.
Well,
but
no, they all have different style to them, but it's such a good song that you can do it so many different ways and still love it. All right, here we go.
Sun rose in your eyes, and the moon and stars were the gifts you gave to the dark, and the empty skies, my love, to the dark. The empty sky. The first time ever I kissed your mouth, I felt the earth move in my like the trembling heart of a captive bird that was there at my command, my love, that was there at my first time ever I held you near, I felt your heartbeat close to mine. I thought our joy would fill the world and would last till the end of time, my love, and would last till the end of time. The first time ever I saw your face, I thought the sun rose in your eyes, and the moon and stars were the gifts you gave to the dark, and the empty skies, my love, to the dark, and the empty skies.
Quite a romantic song.
Yes, it is. It's really something. All that romantic imagery.
This next one is actually a romantic song that Dwight wrote about a couple of high school friends of his who were a couple back in high school, and for a lot of high school was it? Was it fairly long?
They went on for, I guess, a couple of years.
That's a long time in high school.
Yes,
Yeah.
and as often happens, things they split up for a while, actually about 40 years. And then I was talking to my friend at a party one day, and he was kind of mentioning, oh, by the way, and I'm there, no, really, you guys are back together, isn't that great? And and I had this idea for a song in my mind. And like so often, sometimes you have these, melodies or maybe some of the words. And I actually did have the title for this one, After All of This Time, but you need a focal point, you need a story. And,
their story was perfect.
Their stories, high school sweethearts.
And they ended up getting married last year or the year before.
About 2 years
now,
ago,
2
yeah,
years,
I guess.
yeah.
So, to Johnny and Eleanor, and After All of This Time. When we were young, our life seemed so long, an endless sail out on the sea. And all at once years seemed to go by, winds of change blow suddenly. We never thought too far ahead, then they're gone. After all of this time, after all of this time, no longer waiting for you. After all of this time, after all of this time. When we first met, we felt our love would last an eternity. But then dark clouds appeared off our bow, set us apart so suddenly. Now we somehow have a second chance for all time. After all of this time, after all of this time, no longer waiting for you. After all of this time, after all of this time. Like a tide rolling in on the shore, then back out to sea. We're no longer ships in a night, now you're back here with me. After all of this time, after all of this time, no longer waiting for you. After all of this time, after all of this time,
After all of this time,
after all of this time,
no longer waiting.
no longer waiting for you. After all of this time, after all of this time. For all you fans of the kalimba, go to our website and listen to this song, or on YouTube, and you will hear a kalimba orchestra in the middle of that song, which was pretty snazzy, I thought. So, but my goodness,
down
here
to
we
the
are,
last
almost to the
song.
last song of the evening. We
Yes.
haven't even mentioned the tip jar yet, so
Oh,
we might
yes.
as well do that
Yes.
before we sing another tender love song.
Well,
But first,
Yes, well, we are full-time musicians, and although we don't charge a cover charge for our online shows. We don't, because we want to make sure that everyone can feel comfortable tuning in regardless of what their situation is. But if you are in a position to be able to make a donation to our tip jar, we have all the information available at our website at sueanddwight.com. So after the show, you can go over there and you'll see, actually I've got this little slide here, you'll see this photo of a open guitar case there. And if you click on that, it'll take you to another page that has all of the information you need and all the different ways that tips can be given. So we appreciate it very much, as this is how we do make our living, and thank you in advance if it's something that you're able to do. We're going to end off with a song.
It's a song, has a lot of different songs in it. So first of all, it was written inspired by my dad, who was an played in old-time dance bands back in the late 40s in and around Winnipeg, and they would go out and to all these barn dances and stuff, play under the light of the silvery moon. It was inspired a little bit by Shine on Harvest Moon, and we did get permission to use that song, public domain. We threw in another one today, so I hope when you hear another one, so don't rat us out, okay? When we
we might just subtly slip
we'll just
another
sneak
song
it in there, and let's just pretend that it didn't happen.
And
then
that-
there's the song itself, which is all about going to one of the old barn dances in the barns that I'm sure people did all over Western, not only Western Canada, but the Midwest in the US and everything. It was just something you did in the rural areas.
And I was going to say, because you already kind of, now set the stage for it, I was going to mention it after, but as Dwight mentioned, that we slipped another song into here. And because yesterday we were kind of reminiscing back to our early days of courting.
While we were watching Night Shift.
Yes,
The old
our romantic Valentine's movie.
Radical.
And we're thinking back to when we first started dating, and the ink spots, or
Ray Richardson's
ink spots.
A version of the ink spots.
A version of the ink spots, where it used to have a regular show at the International Inn in Winnipeg. And that was one of the early dates that Dwight took me on, was to see the ink spots in their lounge at the International Inn. And then it kind of became a regular thing because I really enjoyed it too. And so here were these guys up on stage singing these old classic ink spots songs. And there was always a little talkie right in the middle of the songs, and I always loved that part. And so Dwight said this morning, hey, maybe we should put one in the middle of Lazy Prairie Moon, so watch for it. No pressure.
I could go on about the ink spots.
Yeah.
Everybody home? I think I see Peggy dancing in the kitchen.
That old lazy prairie moon wandering across the sky like a little lost doggy on its way back home. That old lazy prairie moon shining out so bright and high, dancing to the sound of its own tune. Hold on tight as we drive through the night. Gotta get to the dance before they play our favorite song. That old lazy prairie moon wandering across the sky, dancing to the sound of its own tune.
As I look at the letter that you wrote to me, honey child, I know it's you I was thinking of. As I read the words that you wrote so true, and I remember our faded love.
Hold
arm in arm, we float across the wooden floor. That old lazy prairie moon, wandering across the sky, like a little lost donkey on its way back home. That old lazy prairie moon, shining out so bright and high, dancing to the sound of a lover's tune. Dancing to the sound of a lover's tune. Everybody. Shine on, harvest moon, up in the sky. Shine on, harvest moon, June or July. Shine on, harvest moon, up in the sky. Shine on, harvest moon. And with that,
brings us
bring to another conclusion, another episode of
Living Room
Live, complete with Poetry Corner.
Well,
Thanks so much for joining us, folks.
Yes.
And here we are making good headway into February.
We're already at the middle.
The mid, absolutely.
Yeah, can you believe it? Oh, it's going so fast. Well, we have another show coming up in 2 days. It's going to be our 60s folk sing-along, and at that show we sing songs from the 1960s folk and folk pop scene, and that takes place in on the other side of the wall over there, and that is in our coffee house, we call it, our 60s kind of cavern kind of coffee house, and we hope you'll join us for that. It's lots of fun. We put the lyrics up on the screen so that you can sing along to all the songs, and we've got some really interesting requests this month, so we're looking forward to playing those songs for you. And then next Wednesday we have another Living Room Live back here in the living room, and at that show our theme will be social justice, so we have some great songs lined up under that theme. And then then we're into March after that. For our next Living Room Live will be March 1st. Wow. Can you believe the time is going so fast? And then on the first Saturday of March is our Super 70s song show. And at that show we're in our rec room, which coincidentally is on the other side of that wall too. And it's songs from the 1970s top 40 charts. So lots of music coming up ahead. We hope you'll tune in again. And I think that's it.
Absolutely. We'll send you off into the night under the lazy, not a prairie moon tonight or a harvest moon, but we'll take whatever one we get, right?
Nice sort of spring night here.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you all for being here. Everybody continue to take care and stay